I'll second that.
Now back in open session, and we're here to talk about agenda item. One of my favorite things, the transfer station.
Yes.
And the fees.
Yes.
Okay, I thought we just reduced the fees.
So for the household pickup, we did. Yes.
I know that. I'm just kidding you. Okay, so tell us what we're after.
All right. Scott, you have the numbers? Okay. So commissioners, this is a discussion about the need for an increase at the transfer station for our tipping fee. We did not have an increase last year. We have had an increase from Republic Services, and we've also had some increases internally with pay increases, the cost of doing business. So we've looked at those numbers, and Scott has a couple of different proposals that he can show you, and then we have our recommendation.
I like recommendations. Pardon? Okay, all right, let's hear it.
Give us the facts. You know, I've heard that before.
Have you?
So Republic is increasing $1.57 per ton in their fee for us to haul away garbage. When we look at what we gave in terms of increases in our payroll, we're up 1.5 FTEs plus the cost of living increase plus health insurance and all that. That works out to be about 67 cents per ton. So if you take the 67 cents per ton plus the $1.57 that we're passing through from Republic, that'd be $2.24 a ton. We did make some money last year. We're about $1.7 million positive. We want to make about $1 million a year just to cover the cost of capital and that sort of stuff. So I think that we would be fine if we didn't want to have to cover that entire increase of 224. So we were looking at it, we were playing with it, and we said, well, Republic gave us a 4.6% increase. If we did a 4.3% increase in our fee, that would go from $50 to $52.15, $2.15, which basically is 9 cents less than what our costs are going up. So, but if we did that, that would be easy to explain to the subcommittee. I think we'd be able to handle that. We still have plenty of money for capital improvements if we need to. And because we made enough money last year, our fund balances were right ideally where we should be. In fact, we're slightly on the higher side. So I think $2.15 per ton or 4.3% would be the increase that I would recommend. And it's basically just passing through those costs that we're getting.
So does that, the 215, does that put us exactly match our deficit then and say we're with 9 cents?
We're within 9 cents of what our costs would have been, but we made more money than we were anticipating last year, so that would offset, and we'd still be ahead.
So we should, if we wanted to cover all of our costs, we'd go $2.24. I'm only recommending we go $2.15 or 9 cents short of the break even because we made enough money last year, and I estimate we're going to still make about that same amount of money this year. So we're basically just saying we're being a little more efficient in terms of some of our costs. We don't need to pass on everything right now. We'll be fine with $2.15.
Well, the only thing I would say to that is there has been some discussion about acquisition of a little parcel across the street that I would like to, I think makes sense as I've reviewed it. I was out there, boots on the ground. So I guess I'd rather err on the side of little, at least not having to subsidize that 9 cents, and then we can always have that discussion as far as capital projects at some point. But I think looking at that proposal out there makes sense in terms of efficiency, in terms of making sure I think we could actually increase our rate even more with that provision in it. So,
and I'm fine with that. But the 9 cents probably not doesn't matter that much to the cities. So
we'll leave that for another discussion.
Okay. So we have our subcommittee meeting coming up on April 3rd. Okay.
Sounds like a wonderful thing.
And we would like to present that number at that time, and then go to WACOG the following.
Great. All right.
So were we at 215 or 224?
224.
Increase our. That's basically just puts us on par with our cost increase, with our cost.
Correct.
Yeah.
Now, let me just bring up one other thing. I received an email from the public just this afternoon. They did say they have gotten word that the new transfer station out on Midland will be starting up in June, and that they have already contacted some of the cities to come to leave us and go there. So just want you to be aware of that.
Who owns that new transfer station?
That mix of Robinson Waste and Brett Snellgrove, whoever he represents. So,
Which means that they could then, sorry to interrupt if I may, because it's Brett Snellgrove, that means that they could, if they're gonna start receiving waste, and the first city that jumps on that, then Promontory could open out there at the point across the Great Salt Lake.
potentially,
And is there anything we can do to stop that?
I don't believe so.
So all these friends of the Great Salt Lake are gonna have their hair on fire about dumping garbage out there. As soon as it comes, they're gonna say, Weaver County, you need to stop that. And say, well, we do have our transfer station still open. Go to the cities that are, we bring all of our garbage to here. You're gonna have to go to the cities that, as soon as the first city signs on that, the clock starts ticking for them. I mean, that's open game for them, right?
So that does bring up the issue of, we have the agreements in place, the guaranteed waste agreements that
Yeah.
the cities have signed. They can get out of those with 6 months notice. So we want to talk to them about potentially extending those. Is there anything we want to consider in terms of, our tipping fee, negotiating that with an extension of that agreement?
Do we know what their proposal is?
We don't, have not heard that.
We've had discussions, 6 months doesn't work. 6 months is not,
It doesn't matter. They're gonna make that fee a lot less than we are to get somebody to pop. So we could go, I say, we're operating at cost. Now it's an enterprise fund. We operate it the way it is. That's just what's gonna happen. And they're gonna end up going, they're gonna take those doubles up there through Box Elder County and down to Promontory. That's what's gonna happen. And that's just brilliant move on Brett Snellgrove's part. Be able to acquire that.
was he planning on taking it to Promontory?
We don't know that.
Okay,
Well,
I mean,
no, we don't know that, but I'll tell you what, I bet a lot of my retirement on it.
Sure.
well,
You guarantee.
all right, really the discussion at point is, do we want to go with the 220?
Correct.
I think I'm in favor of that. I still think we keep operating what our cost is to keep that healthy. To keep that, for all of them, to keep it healthy.
Sorry, can I ask Commissioners? So if they do that, we start losing business. I mean, so we currently choose to subsidize, for example, the compost to the tune of several $100,000 a year. We offer services there that, like, if we would have contracted that out or sold it to the public, that they wouldn't offer. So we do have ways to lower the costs out there, but it includes cutting those services we're offering.
That's true.
So, I mean, I guess it just depends. If they come out and they undercut us, if we're at $52.24 now a ton, and they come out and say, well, we're going to be $40 a ton or $38 a ton. You know what I mean? If we lose all that waste there, so I guess does that factor into, do we want to see it say, hey, look, if you'll sign a 5-year contract with us, then we'll hold the cost down $2 a ton, or like what? Is that an option to negotiate? Because otherwise, if we lose all of them, then it doesn't matter if we're $50 or $52 a ton.
No, okay, so we have two options.
We're not statutorily obligated to keep the transfer station.
Sure, and that's the other option.
Yeah, but you either when we had the discussions with Republic, it was like, we'll come in and take it over, but a lot of your services go away, correct? It's just gonna be, come in, drop your trash and go. So we can either cut services, or we can try to entice them with, discounted rate everything. To me, that's a discussion we have with solid waste.
Yeah.
That's all.
And bringing that up to you was just in anticipation of questions coming over the next couple of weeks.
So we're not there yet, but we do have some options. But the question is, we okay with the 224 offset cost? Yes.
Yes.
It looks like that's all the votes you need.
And that, Commissioner, the 224 will cover our costs that we receive from Republic and some of what we had internally.
So Republic raised our rate $1.57 per ton, and then our payroll cost went up 67 cents per ton. So that's the $2.24.
There you go.
There you go.
Thank you. That's it.
All right, item 4 is the adjournment.
Motion to adjourn. Madam Chair.
Going to an administrative.
Well, I think we can just adjourn.
Okay, we can adjourn then go into.
All right, fine.
Well, I'm gonna second.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Done for me.
Carries.